Hey there, entrepreneur. Do you know your calm entrepreneur archetype? I've created a fun and insightful 10-question quiz that reveals your calm entrepreneur archetype and allows you to unlock your entrepreneurial superpower. With this quiz, you'll be asked some questions that zero in on your business style, the way you think, the way you show up, and how your energy works. And by gaining a deeper understanding of your innate strengths, preferences, and challenges, you can maximize your potential, leverage your unique abilities, and overcome obstacles more effectively. The self-awareness that comes also fosters better communication and collaboration within professional relationships and teams, enabling you to make more informed decisions that align with your natural instincts. Ultimately, discovering your entrepreneurial archetype can lead to greater satisfaction and success on your entrepreneurial journey. So just answer a few simple questions and you'll gain access to a personalized path designed to empower you to step into your role as a calm and confident entrepreneur. You can find the Calm Entrepreneur Archetype Quiz now at CorinneO'Flynn.com on the homepage or CorinneO'Flynn.com/quiz. Hey there. My name is Corinne O'Flynn, and you're listening to the Calm Entrepreneur Podcast. I am a USA Today bestselling author, nonprofit executive, and organizing nerd with over 20 years' experience running my own small businesses. I teach entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and small business owners like you how to organize your business, find more time, and deepen your alignment practice to experience more calm and confidence every single day. If you're looking for that intersection between practical business advice and spiritual goodness, then you're in the right place. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this week's episode of the Calm Entrepreneur Podcast. Welcome to the Calm Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Corinne O'Flynn, and this is episode 20. Have you ever felt an overwhelming sense of certainty? A profound knowing deep within your body? Or perhaps it felt like an insight that was so strong that it felt as though it could shake the very fabric of your reality. Oftentimes, when these things show up, they are this flash of wisdom that comes and it's counter to whatever it is that you're working on. Or if you have a question that you've been grappling with, it hits you and it's an answer that seems like it comes out of the blue. And a lot of times, that answer that shows up for us isn't what we expected. And so our instinct is not to trust it. But this is your inner knowing. It's an intuition. And the signal that you get, the way that it comes, is as unique to you as your fingerprint. It has an intimacy. It is something that you experience as an understanding of the world around you and the situations that you find yourself in. But really, how often do we truly trust this feeling? How often do we allow this inner voice to guide us? For me personally, it's something that I have developed a trust in over time, but it wasn't always that way. I used to really fight it and doubt it and never really knew if it was something that I should or could trust. Because where does it come from, right? But the truth is, most of us have been conditioned to doubt ourselves. Right? We are often made to believe that our insights are not valid until they have been externally validated. We feel compelled to convince other people of our rightness, right? We have this desire to make them see our truth and our perspective. And when they don't, we don't tell them that they're wrong. We take on that doubt and we say, oh, okay. And the result is that we shut ourselves off. We silence our voice and we bury our insight. But here is an essential truth. You aren't responsible to convince anyone that you are right. Because sometimes people aren't ready to hear what you have to share. And that's okay. Everyone is on their own unique journey of growth and understanding, and your insights may not align with their current perspective, right? That doesn't invalidate your experience. or make your knowing any less real or any less significant. But we have to learn how to trust that inner knowing. It's a crucial part of our personal development and our self-empowerment, because when we keep doubting it, we tell it that we don't trust it. And, then we stop listening for it. But we can't do that, because our inner voice, your inner voice, is your compass. It is your personal guide through your life's challenges and triumphs. And when you trust your insight, you make decisions from that place of alignment with your authentic self, right? And this is the thing that leads to a life more in harmony with who you are truly meant to be, who you came here to be. So how do we get there? How do we start learning to trust our instincts? How do we flex that muscle and build it to make it stronger so that it doesn't have to be something we even think about? One of the ways that I have done it myself is through meditation and mindfulness, taking time each day, making time each day to meditate, whether that be a guided meditation or just sitting quietly. It really does take practice to make yourself do that, make that space, to hold space for yourself. And it helps you to connect with your inner self and better recognize intuition when it does come. Another way that you can do it if meditation is a struggle, and I know that meditation is not something that comes easy. It is definitely something that you have to cultivate and grow. Not everybody can sit still. And again, as something that I've talked about before, when it comes to meditation, we need to break away from the idea that meditation is sitting there chanting and having an empty mind. That isn't the case. Like, you're allowed to have thoughts, and you're allowed to have feelings, and you're allowed to scratch your nose if it's itchy when you're meditating. Meditating is about being in the moment. So that's why guided meditations are so powerful, because if you're listening to the guided meditation and you're visualizing the things that it's telling you to visualize, then you are in the moment. And that's the knack for it. That's what you're trying to achieve. You could also journal. You can reflect on past decisions, right? So think back on times when you did follow your intuition, and think back on times when you didn't. Did trusting your gut lead to a better outcome? Reflecting on the past decisions that you made will help you trust and validate the power of your inner knowing. And it'll also help you, when you do this, to think about where in your body you feel that inner voice. Like, for me, it isn't a voice at all. Like, I don't hear voices. Remember that meme when it came around on social media? Like, do you have an inner voice, a spoken voice or not? I don't. For me, everything is imagery and flashes. But my gut instinct is a feeling. It is a deep belly. It is a sacral push that tells me yes or no, and it's solid and it's real, and I feel it like viscerally in my skin. But for you, it might be different. It is not the same for everybody, and it shouldn't be something that you have to compare with other people. The gift here is take time now to start listening to it. Listen for it. Ask for it to come to you, and hold space for yourself. So, reflecting on past decisions is a really great way to train yourself, because there have been times when you have responded to your instincts and they have worked for you. The other part of that is to really take small steps. Start by trusting your intuition on smaller decisions. Observe the outcomes. And as you build confidence in it, you'll be more prepared to trust it when it comes to the larger life things, right? And it's important to remember that trusting your inner knowing doesn't mean that you're always right. And I hesitate to use right in this context, because who gets to say what's right, But like, you might not achieve the outcome that you expect all the time. But when you trust that the universe is always acting for you, you know, you learn to accept and let go of that outcome and let it take you where it's supposed to take you. And that's a hard one. So remember that trusting your inner knowing doesn't always mean that you're right, but it means that you're being true to yourself. It's about recognizing your intuition and understanding that it is a valid part of your decision-making process, right? Your body knows. We are connected energetically with the entire world around us. And there are things and senses that we don't register. And that's where the instinct comes in for you. The next thing I wanted to share with you is to embrace your voice. Just as important as trusting your insight is learning to express it, learning to use your voice. We all have something unique to contribute to the world, and your insights, your perspectives are part of that contribution. Now, personally, this is one that I have struggled with mightily over the years, and it's ironic that here I am now using my voice to convey my thoughts and opinions and insights to you through a podcast of all things, not even on video. This is, I'm going straight to audio for this because I am learning to embrace my voice. I'm learning to trust that the things that I have to share are valuable. And that was not something that came automatically to me. It's not a natural place for me. And as I've shared in the past, because it made me uncomfortable, because it scared the life out of me, that's why I had to make that choice. So, hey, that's why we're here on the podcast. Welcome to being a calm entrepreneur, my friends. So how can we flex that muscle? How can we strengthen our impulse to embrace our voice? Well, the first one is obvious. Express yourself. Like, do it more. Whether it's through writing or speaking or art or another medium like a podcast, find a way to express yourself through your voice. This will not only help you validate your thoughts, but it'll also give you more practice in articulating your ideas. And again, your voice can show up as a spoken word, as written word, as a painting, as a photograph. Your voice is imbued in whatever it is that you create. So trusting that and allowing that to take up space in the world is really something that we all need to do more of. It is so empowering. And I'm reminded of a friend, a wonderful friend of mine who has been so inspirational on my own journey into stepping into my skin and really becoming and allowing myself to be who I am. And again, I'll tell you that this journey has not been an easy one, and it's not my natural place. It's not where I want to be in my comfort zone. This is absolutely outside of my comfort zone, but that's where the magic happens, you guys. My friend got a tattoo of a whale wrapping over her shoulder. And when she shared it, the story she told was all about taking up space and this reminder that we are here and we are allowed to take up space. The whale doesn't apologize for its size. The whale doesn't, ask to take up the room it needs. It just does. And it's not smashing and thrashing. It is quietly and calmly and placidly doing its thing and being its gigantic, enormous, wonderful self. Right? And that's what stepping into your voice, embracing your voice really does mean to me. Like I love that idea of the whale as that archetype for really expressing that. So aside from expressing yourself outwardly, you could use affirmations inwardly. Using positive affirmations like my voice matters, my insights are valuable. These are words that we speak to ourselves, and they have power, you guys. They reinforce our confidence. They help us to express our thoughts and ideas more readily because our identity is the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves. And we know now through neuroplasticity that we can change our thoughts. And so one of the ways that we can do that is through affirmations. And the more we repeat the affirmations, the more readily we're able to accept them. And when we're more able to accept them, we're able to believe them, and we're able to change our subconscious thoughts, which then drive our behaviors and drive our conscious thoughts. So affirmations are one path through there. So positive affirmations, you can write them down on Post-it notes like I do. They're all over my house. Or you can write them on a piece of paper and stick it to your mirror. You can journal on them. You can do any number of things. You can buy t-shirts that have really cool, powerful phrases on them. But try to find ways to inspire yourself, to empower yourself. It's a wonderful, easy path to really stepping into your power. And another way, which kind of goes against the inner knowing, is to seek constructive feedback. Like when you have a circle of people around you who are nurturing and supportive, you can share your thoughts and your insights with these trusted friends, and you can welcome their feedback. This can help you to refine the way that you express yourself, the way that you verbalize the thoughts that you want to share with the world. It can help you find the vocabulary that you want to use to express your thoughts and your feelings. Because words matter, you guys. And I think that when we are able to express ourselves outwardly to other people repeatedly, it gives us the confidence, right? Not only in our thoughts, but in our ability to verbalize those things. Because when you silence your voice, you not only deny yourself the opportunity to grow through the expression of your thoughts, but you also deny others the chance to learn from your perspective. And again, this is not about convincing other people or proving points. This is about sharing your unique insights. It's about contributing to this tapestry of human experience. And I'm taking this training right now about quantum human design. And one of the things that the founder, her name is Karen Curry Parker, one of the things that she continues to express so beautifully in her teachings is this concept that every single one of us is this unique contribution to the fabric of the world. And the world, if you envision it like a tapestry, is made up of all these zillions and zillions of threads. And if any one of us is not there, then it's not possible. It unravels. So every single one of us has a unique insight. Every single one of us is here to share our thoughts and contribute to the tapestry of this human experience. And again, I'll share personally, like this is the one that I struggled with so hard, you guys. And even when I'm sitting here sharing with you now, when I step into these personal episodes where I'm sharing my opinions and my feelings on these things, you know, it's uncomfortable in a way because I'm revealing more of myself. And the more you reveal of yourself, the more you open yourself up to being judged. And that's hard. Like, it's hard. It's hard for me personally. I know it's hard for a lot of people out there, but pushing through that and making myself show up in this way, which is not to say that I'm not enjoying myself. I am loving this podcast. But one of the reasons why I'm loving it is not only because it's really pushing me to grow and really making me show up and be authentic and really opening up the kimono, right? Which is a weird analogy, but that's what it feels like in a lot of ways. But then on the flip side of that, the feedback that I get from so many of you out there has been, oh, beautiful. It is just so profound. And it's further proof that my instinct was right to do this in this way. Right. I first started doing blogs and I was like, I don't know. I don't know that this is the way that I want to get my stuff out there. And the podcast was like, ooh, scary. But ever since making the decision to start this podcast, it's been the validations that come back from the people out in the world. And it's people that I know and people that I don't know. It's listeners. It's you. I hear from you on a weekly basis that, something that I said spoke to you, or that something resonated, or that someone said that I inspired them to just take off on this project that they've been holding off on because of fear. That's, holy cow, guys, that's world changing. That's wonderful. And that's the power in sharing your voice. So embracing your voice is something that I want to encourage every single person out there to do, whether that be, writing that book and publishing it, or, signing up or trying out for a TED Talk or launching your own podcast or starting a blog, whatever it is that you want to do with your voice, with your insights, do it. Just do it. And if you need encouragement, email me. I will encourage you until the cows come home. Because I was encouraged like that from my people. And I think that we all need more of that in the world. So absolutely embrace your voice in all the ways. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you is all about the freedom in letting go. It's letting go of everything. Letting go of the need to convince others gives you a sense of freedom. Letting go of the outcomes of your desires and following your gut gives you freedom. Letting go of the fear and stepping into your power to share your voice outwardly gives you freedom. The amount of freedom that comes with doing the things that scare you and taking up space and being that whale unapologetically, but also gently and kindly, making room and being yourself in the world. That's freedom, you guys. It's the most beautiful thing. And it allows you to share your insights without attachment to how they are received. This doesn't mean that you should, avoid engaging in discussions and debates and sharing your opinions about things that might be divisive, because those things are important and valid too. But the freedom in sharing comes from entering these things with an open mind, with a readiness to share, with this urge to learn and to grow without the pressure of needing to win over anybody or to validate your worth by how your insights land. Right? And it's wonderful when you do get that feedback. Like I just shared, it is wonderful and it's validating and it's so fulfilling to know that the things that you've shared have impacted somebody positively. But that can't be the reason you do it. Right? The reason you do it needs to be because you are here to share. You are here to speak your voice. You are chasing that freedom that comes with being who you are. And something else that I've learned a lot through this training that I'm doing with quantum human design is being who you are is your purpose. Your purpose is not what you do in the world. It's not your job. It's not your profession. It's not your vocation. You are worthy of taking up space simply because you're here. Full stop. It is being. You are here, and that's all the world needs from you. So that's a shift from a lot of the things that we're always told, right? So how do we learn to trust our inner knowing, right? How do we recognize that our voice and our insight has value? How can we promise ourselves that we won't shy away from that nudge, that profound knowing that comes from within, right? We have to embrace it. We have to trust it. We have to use our voice because it's your unique perception that adds color and dimension to the world. So how do we do that? How do we practice that sense of letting go? How do we step forward without that attachment to the outcomes? You can practice detachment, like mindfully practice detachment. Like once you've expressed your insights, understand that once your thoughts are out there, you can't control how others will perceive them. Like you really need to just release that and understand, hey, that's okay, right? You write the book, you're going to get the 1-star review. You share your opinion and someone's going to disagree. And that's okay. We're not meant to be all the same. We're not meant to agree. We're not meant to be homogenized into the soup of humanity. We're meant to be ourselves. You can also engage in open dialogues. By engaging in discussions with an open mind, which is, I think, an art form that has been lost in the last 5 to 6 years, whatever happened to engaging in a discussion with an open mind, focusing on expressing your insights and understanding other people's perspectives? Like, what if you sat down and discussed something with somebody else with the purpose of simply understanding where they're coming from without judgment, without needing to win, without needing to persuade, without evangelizing your position? Like, when's the last time you did that? And this is not an accusation. This is an open query. And I'm asking it of myself. When is the last time you really found someone whose opinions maybe you know that you disagree with? And instead of trying to fight through it and convince them, or just shouting into the void where you're not convincing anybody of anything, you really said, hey, you know what? I really would like to see if we can't sit and just hash this through. I really would like to know what your basis of these thoughts are. I'll share mine, you share yours. And maybe, if nothing else, you come away with it with a little bit more understanding, a little bit more compassion for the fact that we are all experiencing our own reality, right? That's a hard one. It's something that has fallen away from popularity of late. And I wish we could bring that back, because it's such a beautiful thing. And not even finding somebody that you are, whose opinions you think you disagree with, just something that you don't know, reach out and ask someone, hey, I would love to know more about that. You seem so passionate. Can you tell me how you fell in love with this thing? Which does not mean that you're going to take somebody out to coffee and have them divulge like 30 years of research on you. But where did it come from? Why do they have the fire? Like, those are the kinds of things that just light me up. And going back to the affirmations, you can do a self-affirmation here in detachment. Remind yourself that your value is not determined by others agreeing with your insights. And this is kind of one of those things that goes back to the mindset, the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Your identity is not determined by somebody else's ability to agree with you or not. That puts you in a growth mindset. You step into a growth mindset because you know that regardless of whether you're standing alone or you're standing at the front of this huge crowd of people who support your opinion, your worth is inherent and it is not dependent on the validation of anything outside of you. And again, that's a lot of us have a lot of self-worth work to do. And I think that that's something that we can spend the rest of our lives really working on. But it's so worthy. It is so, so worthy, you guys. So remember, people may not always be ready to hear what you have to share, and that's okay. Your journey isn't about convincing others. It's about honoring your truth, learning to trust the power within you, because in doing so, you will not only enrich your own life, but you will make a meaningful contribution to those around you, because the ones who are ready to hear what you have to say, the ones who are here for your unique voice, they will show up. A lot of them are already around you. You just haven't shared your insights and your wisdom to know that they're ready for it. Like they're there for you. So trust in your inner knowing, believe in the power of your voice, and step boldly into the world with your unique insights lighting the way. And that, my friends, is my big insight for you, my takeaway for the week. It is something that I personally have been working on, all three of these things, really trusting my inner knowing and embracing my voice and releasing the outcomes, detaching from the outcomes. It's all three of these things are really hard, but gosh, the growth that comes when you do. So that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for listening. I will have all of this written out in my show notes, which can be found on CorinneO'Flynn.com/episode 20. And that's the word episode and the digits 20. And thanks for listening. I hope you have a great week. Remember, part of being a calm entrepreneur is developing the systems, habits, and know-how that lets you know that you are the one in the driver's seat. You get to choose how you run your business, and you get to choose how you work. So you got this. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Calm Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Corinne O'Flynn, and if this episode was valuable to you, please head on over and rate and review wherever you consume your podcasts. Please subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. New episodes go out each week on Tuesdays, and I look forward to hanging with you again. This is Corinne signing off. Have an excellent day.